Khan Academy, volume. We're working on volume of rectangular prisms. What is the volume of the rectangular prism? So we're going to go back to our original equation. Volume equals length times width times height. The length of this rectangular prism is 6. The width is also 6. And then the height back here is 1. So 6 times 6 is 36, times 1 would be 36. And then because we have these labeled centimeters now, not unit cubes, so now that they're labeled centimeters, our volume label is going to be centimeters, but then you're going to notice this 3, which means cubed, because we're still kind of measuring how many cubes there would be here. There would be 6 here. There would be 6 here. And so we're still measuring cubic. We're measuring in 3D. So our answer here has to have a 3 for cubic. So 36 cubic centimeters would be our answer. What is the volume of the rectangular prism? Again, anytime that I hear that volume, I'm going to be remembering my volume equation. Volume equals length times the width times the height. For this one, it's a little bit easier. It's a cube, so all of our numbers here are the same. So 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25, and then 25 times 5, I think about quarters here, so 25 times 5, so 25 times 4 is 100. So 25 times 5 is 125. And again, centimeters cubed. What is the volume of the rectangular prism? Okay. Anytime I see that word volume, I'm going to be writing out my equation. Volume equals length times width times the height. The length here is 8. The width this time is 1, and the height is 5. So 8 times 1 is 8, and then times 5 would give me an answer of 40. Again, what is the volume of the rectangular prism? Volume equals length times width times height. Yep, by now you should be totally getting that pounded into that head, because every time we see that word volume, we're just going to go right back to our volume equation. So the length is 3 times the width, which is 4, times the height, which is right over here, 6. So 3 times 4 is 12. And then I have to do 12 times 6. Okay, so if we don't know 12 times 6, we can work it out. I can do 12 times 4, which is 48. And then I know that 12 times 5 would be 12 more, so that would be 60. So 12 times 6 is 72. And if you had to do the math to work that out, that would be definitely okay to do too. Volume of the rectangular prism again. So volume, every time I see that volume word, I'm going to go right back to my full equation. Now, some people say, why do I have to write this all out? Can't I just multiply the 3 numbers? It's good to get it in your head, because sometimes they're going to give you more than 3 numbers. So if they gave you a 5 here and a 5 here, you would need to be able to recognize that you only need to have one of those 5s because they're both labeling the length. Okay, so right now I know they're only giving 3 numbers, but we need to just have that good practice because eventually they won't. So our length is 5 times the width, so how far back it goes, is 6, and our height right here is 5. So 5 times 6 is 30, and then 30 times 5, if you need to work that out, you could work that out. 30 times 5 is 150. So for me, I'm going to be thinking of 30 times 5, and I'm going to go back to that tens trick, and I'm going to do 3 times 5 is 15, and then add my 0 on for my answer. Okay, volume equals length times width times height. So the length here is 3. The width here is also 3. We've got a cube going on, and then our height is also 3. So my volume is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9, times 3 is 27. And what's the volume of the rectangular prism again? Volume equals length times width times height. So my length is 7, my width is 5, and my height is 4. So 7 times 5 is 35, and then 35 times 4. If you need to work that out, you can. I like to think 35 times 2 would be 70, and then you would do that twice, so 140. But you can definitely go ahead and just write out your 35 times 4 and solve it that way too. Okay, so again, any way that works best for you to figure out that final answer is going to be 140.